Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Brettcast Transformers Talk. And on this episode, I am doing my ranking tier list here for all of the currently available figures in the War For Cybertron Trilogy toy line. I.e. anything from Earthrise, Siege, and Kindom, but it has to be currently available. Anything that is not currently available is not on the list. Pretty simple. So, you wouldn't know this because you weren't there, but this is actually my second attempt, so to speak, because I was using someone else's tier list for this, but it was a kind of a messy one because there was too many things that didn't belong and too many repaints and, you know, this or that, and so I made it so it's more condensed, more accurate, and yeah. So, for the categories, we have great figure, the good figure, average figure, below average figure, and the downright crappy figure, as well as the never handled, which means I don't have the figure or I haven't messed with said figure or figure of the same mold. What do I mean by that? Meaning that while I have never owned Crosshairs, I do own Ironhide in the Siege, which is the same thing. I.e., well, that doesn't count for Never Handled. Never Handled would be like Nemesis, or not Nemesis Prime. Like this guy. I forget his name. Apeface. I've never touched it, never transformed it, never done anything with it, so with that out of the way, we shall begin. We're going to begin from the top. So, first up is the Voyager class Siege Skywarp. And I'm going to actually just put together all of the Siege Seekers here as they go in the average figure. And oh no, wait, that's not Skywarp, that's Hotlink. Whatever. He's included too. Hotlink, Skywarp, Thundercracker, and Starscream. If any of the other ones pop up, then that's fine. Anyways, I put them in average because personally, the Siege Seeker mold, while good, it definitely needed the improvement of the pin through the chest. This goes for the Rainmakers that also share the mold. And while I've never owned the Sparkless Seeker from the Netflix War For Cybertron line, it is in fact the same mold. So all of our flyers for Siege are there. But yes, it is a good mold. It could have been better. The fact that the chest can come apart and will come apart is an issue. And so yeah. Next up we have the Siege Nemesis Prime, Optimus Prime mold, and honestly it is going in the good figure category. I know you were gonna say, oh, it's probably amazing. Unfortunately, no. I don't like all the large panels around his arm and the way that the top of the truck is just flat backpack on his back. So, unfortunately, it is only just good. Alright, refract. Impactor, never handled. That guy, never handled. Then, of course, we come to the Prowl. This is actually Barricade, but it is the Prowl mold. This is shared by a multitude of figures. This is I think the Siege one? Yeah. This is definitely the Siege one. I did not put the Earthrise ones on here. So, anyway. It is actually a good mold. The only downside is the hollowness in the legs. So, you are a good figure, and I will grab the other ones as they come up. Next is Impactor. Impactor is great, minus a little hollowness in the legs. It's great. It's an IDW character. We hardly get Hasbro releases of IDW characters, and so he is a great figure. And his tank mode looks awesome. Oh, there's smoke screen. Yeah, oh, there's blue streak. Now Prowl would reveal himself, but I don't really care. Alright, moving on, we have the Siege Mirage. It's good. It's pretty good. It has its fiddle factor. And I've had some issues tabbing things together, namely where the arms meet with the legs in the vehicle form. It could be better, definitely. Oh, it definitely is an average figure. Fortunately, I've never handled Spinister, and as I was just saying, the Siege Ironhide Ratchet Crosshairs mold here, it's actually pretty good. I don't know if they fixed it in Crosshairs, but they definitely didn't with Ratchet and Ironhide, where the panels on the legs were constantly falling off. But otherwise, it was actually pretty darn good. We'll get Ratchet when he comes up. Oh, there's Prowl. Prowl's there. Where's Ratchet? Yeah. Alright, next up we have the Siege Megatron Voyager class. This is by far, sorry, I found Ratchet, one of my favorite Megatrons that I own, and I don't own that many Megatrons because I tend to go for just one really good one. So yes, Megatron is definitely great. Sure, he doesn't have wrist articulation, but it's fine. Of course, we come to the Sideswipe mold, which of course has been repainted to the ends of the planet, and it is simple and it works. For me, I find it works. So I'm definitely putting that in the good figure category, and of course more of him will pop up, so I will grab them as they come. Next up is Siege Soundwave. And if you're wondering, the only reason I didn't include a lot of the Earthrise or Kindom versions, like there's a Kindom version of Soundwave, is just because, sure, the alternate mode is different because it's the Earth mode, but the robot mode is exactly the same. And so my opinion really isn't that different when coming to their Earth modes versus their Siege modes, except in the case of the Seekers, which is the only reason why I put the Seekers on here. Anyway, let me continue with Soundwave. And so yeah, Siege Soundwave. I love it. Sure, it has the generic spaceship mode to it. But what else are you going to do with a Cybertronian version of Soundwave? You can't make him turn into a boombox. So, he is a great figure. Next up we have Springer. He was another welcomed face to come in the Siege line. He's a triple changer, of course, and he triple changes like a boss, I gotta say. I love it. I do have some minor issues doing it, but it's not the easiest transformation, that is definitely for sure. But I really like Springer. So he is a good figure. That one I have not done. Haven't held you either. Okay, so next we have the Siege Ultra Magnus, and yes, I know they have his Earth mode. It's not that different, so I didn't put the Earth mode one on here. This was actually like the first Ultra Magnus that I've ever bought, and I love it. I love putting the armor on. I love, that it. I love that it is that way. That it's like armor for like a white Optimus Prime, basically. That you just add on and it's boom, Ultra Magnus. I like that. So he is a great figure. Next up, of course, is the Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, who is a very heavy remold of Ultra Magnus, and he is a great figure. I love seeing some more representation of the Unicron Trilogy in the main line, and we need more of that, because Unicron Trilogy is what I grew up with, and I like it. Alright, next we have Astro Train. Astro Train is a tough one. I mean, there's just a few qualms I have with some of his vehicle modes, wherein they definitely needed more panels to cover things up. And it's kind of sad that they didn't, and I feel like he's got too much lower leg, but not enough thigh area. Like, his thighs are tiny. But, yeah. But he's a lot better than the previous trilogy's Astro Train, that's for sure. But still, it does a lot. At the same time, I wanted more from it. So he was kind of just average for me, and he has the factor of being technically Voyager class sized, but yet they priced him at leader class because he comes with that extra train car of weapons. Alright, next up we have the Commander class. Jetfire, and this is easy for me, is a great figure. He does everything I wanted him to do. I love how tall he is. The only thing I wish, and this isn't an issue with the figure, but the only thing I wish is that I would have actually waited a little while to buy him instead and got him for cheaper than paying full price for him, because that's kind of the only thing, is that I didn't think he was worth $80. I could see 40 or 50 for him, but not 80, because as good as he is, there's still a lot of hollowness to him. So, but still, he is a great figure. I don't have Omega Supreme. I haven't dealt with you, or you, or you. God, there's gonna be a while before we hit one that I have. Oh wait, no, Hound. Alright, so next we have Hound, who shares the same mold as Hotshot there. And Hound is a good figure. He's very simple. The only downside is that, like, some of the spots on the feet when you're transforming him back into vehicle mode tend to, like, break. Not break in a sense that you can't put it back on, but, it's just like the hinge likes to pop off and you just kind of have to snap it back in place. But it's still a really good figure. I actually kind of wish I had gotten Hotshot, but I can never be bothered to get those Hasbro Pulse releases. Alright, we haven't handled you or you. So next up is the Earthrise Hoist. This is the first one that's going in the crappy. It was fiddly. The weapons sucked. The transformation was kind of messy, and I just really hated it. And I remember that, like, I was able to transform him 2 or 3 times, but then I remember one time trying to transform him, and I just, like, completely by accident sheared one of his legs right off. Like, not at a spot where you can put it back on. So, yeah, he broke on me. It was probably my fault because it was probably putting too much pressure or something, but yeah. Still, not, I thought he was a crappy figure. And subsequently would be for Trailbreaker as well. Okay, so next up we have Wheeljack, who shares this spotlight with Exhaust. He's on here somewhere. Oh, I forgot. That's one of the Ironhide shared molds as well. Anyways, Wheeljack, I love it. It's like a miniature masterpiece. Earthrise Wheeljack is fantastic. No need to say anything more. Next we have the Cliff Jumper, Bumblebee, whatever this guy is, and Bugbait. God, I almost said Bugbeat. Bugbait. Anywho, oops, found another one of you. It's great. It works well. It scales wonderfully. You know, I don't actually have Bumblebee, but I do enjoy it. And there's another Prowl mold thing. Where did that go? Okay, never mind. I found it. But yeah, Cliff Jumper and Bumblebee subsequently are fantastic. There's Bugbite. And I know I saw the other one as well. They all share the same mold, so I put them all on there. And there's Exhaust, as I was just speaking about him. There we go. Alright, next is Heaven Handled. Yes, Elita 1, and that just makes me realize that I did miss something. RC. And the Elita 1 mold. I totally missed Elita 1 for this. Shit. Whatever. Too late to change it. I didn't like this mold. It wasn't crappy, but it did not meet my expectations. I couldn't get it stayed together in vehicle mode very well. Yeah, it just... And to be honest, I don't like the... I just realized that you share the same mold as her too. I don't like the fembots in Transformers. I have too many issues with them, so... She was definitely a below average figure. Alright, so we come to the only one of these weapon guys that I ever bought, and he sucked. He just sucked. Yeah. There was often times when transforming him that I couldn't get the two halves to go together. I would have to sit there for a while trying to get it together, and yeah, it wasn't worth it, and because it looked cool at first, but then I'm just like, this is stupid, and yeah, it's not my thing, and so he's a crappy figure. Heaven Handle. Alright, so next we come to the Earthrise Seeker / Conehead mold. And it's amazing. There's not much else you have to say. The Coneheads, or the Earthrise Seeker and Conehead mold, was a huge improvement over the ones from Siege. Huge improvement. Like, you could not have made them any better. I wish I would have actually got the Coneheads, but, you know, I wasn't in the mood to deal with the Amazon 2-pack thing, so I just didn't get them. Alright, let's see what's left here. Haven't handled. I think all of this is I haven't handled. I know you're probably looking at this thinking like, man, you gotta catch up on all this, but nah. There's a lot of stuff I want still, especially in Kingdom, so. And who knows, I may come back and I may, edit this once I get more stuff from Kingdom. Okay, so yeah, all of these were just things I haven't handled. So yeah, that's my ranking basically of all of the stuff from the War for Cybertron line that I actually own and have handled. So let's go through this real quick. In Great Figure, we have Impactor, Megatron, Soundwave, Ultra Magnus, Galaxy Upgrade, Optimus Prime, Jetfire, Wheeljack and Exhaust, Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, Bug Bite, whatever that other guy's name is, and the Earthrise Seekers and Coneheads. In the good mold, we have Prime Nemesis Prime, which also does include Earthrise as well. Impactor, or not Impactor, God. Prowl, both versions, Earth mode and Siege mode. Ironhide, Earth mode and Siege mode. And the Lamborghini guys, Earth modes and Siege mode. And then, of course, we have Springer, Hound, and Hotshot. In the average figure, we have all of the Siege Seekers, as well as Mirage and Astro Train. In the below average, we have our Siege mold, which is shared by Elita 1, and I think that's Moonracer. I don't remember. Or no, that's that. I forget who it is. They pair her with Ratchet. And in the crappy figure, we have Hoist, Trailbreaker, and that one weaponizer guy that I can never remember the name of, and of course I have a ton and he never handled. So that's it. That is my ranking for right now, which will probably change in the future as I get more, because I know, like, I want to get Grapple, I want to get Huffer, Cyclonus, I want to get Warpath. So yeah. Thank you for watching this ranking video, and